Hi, it's Alistair from Ministry of Villas. I'd like to talk about the importance of price parity. No, wait, don't click away. I promise to keep this brief and as interesting as I can. So the problem with price parity is, occasionally you'll have someone representing another firm coming in saying, we need to sell your product, your villa, for less. And you say, okay, I'll give you a better price. And then inevitably another one will come along and say, we need to sell your product for less. We have to have the cheaper price. And before you know it, it's a race to the bottom. It's never ending. Or maybe you think, look, I will give you the cheaper price, I will put this price back up. And then another villa company comes along and they say, we have to have the cheapest price. So you put them down and this one back up, and then he comes back, and you're just always moving prices. And there's no game in sight. This is silly. So by establishing price parity and giving every one of us, agents representing your property, the exact same price, you're saying, look, you've got everything you need. If you want to prove yourself a worthy partner of ours, then you go and sell that property at the price that we've set it at. You shouldn't need any artificial advantage over anybody else with any sort of discounts. The other response that you might have from other partners is say, well, we have the most volume, we're your biggest partner, so therefore we should be cheaper than everybody else. And I say to that, where's the logic long term? Long term, is it best to have just one partner and you give them a cheaper price, and everybody else over time feels disheartened and turned away, and they don't push your product quite so much anymore? It's actually the reverse. If you've got one strong partner, you should be thinking, well, actually, I want to make that level so I can build multiple partnerships. I want to be able to sell this villa through multiple websites, multiple travel agents all over the world in multiple currencies and multiple languages. So that's the other argument, that just because you've got one really strong partner shouldn't mean that they should have some sort of artificial advantage. The third one, and this one's also important, is where you may feel that you want to offer customers a cheaper price if they book direct through your website. And whilst that does sound appealing initially, short term, from my perspective as an agent, it can be very awkward, because obviously we put a lot of work into promoting your product, your villa. And if the customer finds it cheaper booking direct, in the short term, you would get that booking. But in the long term, if that were the pattern set, then we would discover that we're not getting any production at all. Our efforts don't generate a return on investment, and would pull back our marketing altogether, in fact. And then your other partners do the same thing. And as a result, those direct channel bookings would go down too. Taking that example to the extreme end, the algorithms that are behind the results on Ministry Villas, and also the big OTAs, in particular the largest ones, which I'll leave unnamed but are quite obvious. With that sort of a practice, if you're always advertising your direct prices cheaper, then that will affect your ranking on all of our websites, because we track how many people are clicking to have a look and how many people click to book. And if that ratio goes down, and in fact if it plummets because of this arrangement, then so too will your listing. And once again, it's the same eventuality long term, less volume from partners from all of your sales channels. So that's the other reason, to keep everything as level as you can. Another activity that's been happening, especially of late, are some online travel agents, websites, are saying, well, we actually have a private section. So these prices are not available to the public, they're only for our members, or some of these companies have a special name for it, but essentially a VIP area of the website. I'd like to just shoot that down right away. It's false. If you were to download their app or log in with one click with Facebook, you're able to see those prices. The fact is, they're not private at all. They're very much public. It's a marketing ploy, again, to encourage you to give them a lower price than everybody else. So the final recap is price parity makes logical sense because in the long run, you're giving many partners in all sorts of countries and languages around the world the opportunity to sell your villa. And since there's no price disparity, you can evaluate the strength of these partnerships based on their production and how hard they work for you. By having just a fraction of a price difference, it skews the whole equation. And like I said, worst case scenario, you could be losing some partners altogether, and then long term, that makes you go backwards. Thank you very much.